You don't miss them because they were perfect. You miss them because you lost yourself trying to keep them. Some people enter your life not to stay, but to awaken the parts of you that were sleeping in pain. If loving them feels heavier than loving yourself, then love was never meant to be this way. You weren't weak for holding on. You were just hoping they would choose you the way you chose them. The hardest truth is realizing that someone can feel everything you feel and still choose not to show up. You didn't meet them to be happy forever. You met them to finally learn what you deserve. Walking away isn't giving up on love, it's choosing to stop bleeding in silence. If you have to beg for clarity, that silence is already your answer. The right connection will never make you feel anxious about your worth. And the moment you choose yourself, the pain doesn't disappear, but it finally stops controlling you. This message speaks to the kind of connection that never truly leaves your heart, no matter how much time passes or how hard you try to move on. It explains that this bond was not meant to give comfort, but to awaken you, even if that awakening came through pain. The constant thoughts, the heaviness in your chest, the silence that hurts more than words, none of it is accidental. This connection arrived to reveal where you were losing yourself while loving someone else. It shows that love should never require chasing, begging, or shrinking yourself to be chosen. When you step back, you are not losing them, you are saving yourself. The script gently reminds you that choosing your peace is an act of courage, and in the end, whether they return with truth or fade away, you rise stronger, wiser, and closer to the love that will finally feel safe, mutual, and real. Part 1. The true nature of your connection. This connection was never meant to be normal. If it were, it would not have stayed this long inside your heart. Time would have softened it, distance would have erased it, but instead, it grew heavier, deeper, and more alive. That alone tells you this was never just attraction. You did not meet this person to simply feel loved. You met them to feel everything, to feel joy, longing, fear, and the pain of losing yourself while trying to hold on. This connection came to show you where you were giving too much and asking for too little, where you were loving without being met halfway. That is why it feels intense. That is why it feels unfinished. This bond was designed to wake you up, not to keep you comfortable. It is a soul-level lesson meant to teach you truth, self-respect, and emotional depth. And once you see that, the pain begins to transform into understanding. Part 2. Why this connection feels so strong and painful. You may have tried to forget them. You may have told yourself it's over. You may have distracted your mind and stayed busy. But somehow they still return to your thoughts when you least expect it. Not because you are weak, not because you can't let go, but because this connection touched parts of you that were already hurting. This bond didn't create your pain. It revealed it. The fear of being left. The fear of loving more than you are loved. The fear of not being chosen. When those fears are awakened, it feels like love and suffering at the same time. That is why some days you miss them deeply, and other days you feel exhausted by the weight of it all. This connection acts like a mirror, showing you where healing is needed, and healing always hurts before it frees you. That is the hidden truth behind this pain. Part 3. The biggest misunderstanding. About this connection. The biggest mistake people make with this connection is believing it must be held together by effort, by waiting, by chasing, by proving worth through pain. But this bond was never meant to survive through force. Love that needs constant effort from one side slowly turns into exhaustion. You were never meant to beg for attention or clarity. You were never meant to convince someone to see your value. If you feel like you are carrying the entire connection alone, then something is already out of balance. And that imbalance is not your failure. It is part of the lesson. True soul connections grow through alignment, not pressure. They breathe through honesty, not fear. When one person is ready and the other is not, distance becomes necessary. Not as punishment, but as truth. This connection is teaching you to release control and trust that what is real will not require you to lose yourself to keep it alive. Part 4. What your person is really feeling. Even if they never say it, your person feels this connection too. They think about you more than they admit. They sense you when you pull away. They feel the silence between you. But feeling something and acting on it are not the same. They are not fighting you. They are fighting themselves. The fear of opening their heart, the fear of losing control, the fear of becoming vulnerable and being seen too deeply. You represent depth, and depth scares people who are used to staying on the surface. So instead of moving closer, they hesitate. Instead of speaking truth, they choose silence. Instead of choosing love, they choose what feels safe. This does not mean they don't care. It means they are not yet emotionally brave, and love without courage often hides behind distance. Part 5. What you should do next. Now listen carefully because this is the turning point. What you do next will decide everything. You are being asked to stop waiting and start becoming. Not becoming cold or bitter, but becoming whole again. First, stop chasing clarity from someone who is still confused. Clarity doesn't come from a heart that is afraid to feel. Second, stop proving your worth through pain. Your value is not measured by how much you can tolerate. Third, bring your focus back to yourself. Your energy is sacred. Don't waste it on someone who doesn't respect it. Choose peace over anxiety. Love should calm you, not break you. When you stop holding on so tightly, the dynamic changes. Stepping back doesn't mean you don't care. It means you finally care enough about yourself to stop losing pieces of your heart for someone who is not ready to keep them. Part 6. Why stepping back is not giving up. Stepping back is not abandonment. It is not you losing them. It is you finally choosing yourself. Sometimes the universe separates people not to punish them, but to realign them. It's not always a punishment. Sometimes it's a mercy. If this connection is meant to continue, it will return in a healthier form. And if it doesn't return, then it was never meant to cost you your self-worth. You were never meant to stay in a love that makes you feel small. You deserve a connection that makes you feel safe, not anxious. A love that feels like peace, not like a constant test. So stepping back is not giving up. It is protecting your heart. It is saying, I will not lose myself for someone who isn't ready to hold me. Part 7. The channeled message for you. Listen slowly, because these words are meant for your heart. You are not losing them. You are being asked to find yourself again. Stop shrinking just to keep a connection alive. Stop changing your voice, your dreams, your feelings, just to make someone comfortable. The right connection grows when you grow. The right person doesn't make you feel like you're begging for love. They make you feel seen, safe, and respected. What is meant for you will meet you in peace, not in confusion. Release control. Release fear. Release the need to know what happens next. Trust this pause. Trust this space. Trust yourself. You are at a turning point. This moment is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your healing. And your heart is finally learning what it truly deserves. Part 8. What happens after this phase? After this phase, one of two things will happen. Either your person will rise and meet you with honesty, effort, and emotional presence, or you will rise beyond them and attract someone who loves you without resistance. Both outcomes lead to growth. Both outcomes lead to love. The universe doesn't take from you without replacing it, it redirects. And the final truth you need to hear is this: you were never meant to suffer for love. You were meant to experience love that feels safe, mutual, and real. This connection came to awaken you, not to break you. So when you choose yourself, everything changes. The pain doesn't disappear instantly, but it loses its power. Your heart begins to heal. And what comes next will feel very different from what you've known before. Calmer, kinder, and more true. Don't miss the last message, because the last message especially for you. So close your eyes and take a deep breath. So listen, be carefully. If this message touched your heart, then you are not alone. You were never meant to suffer in silence just to keep a connection alive. You were meant to feel love that makes you feel safe, not lost. And the truth is, when you choose yourself, you don't lose them. You free yourself. So tell me this: are you still holding on to someone who isn't ready, or are you finally choosing your peace? Because the moment you stop chasing clarity from a confused heart, you begin to attract a love that doesn't make you beg for it. Comment, "I'm choosing me," if you're ready to stop shrinking for love. Thanks for staying with me at last. So please like, share, and subscribe the channel for more mindset-changing videos, because this channel will grow with your support and your love. Thanks a lot.